me the story of your dating apps in Atlanta and Chicago and how many likes you got. And what
Mm.
does that story tell us about modern society?
So this story I have, I don't know why it's blowing up so much, but back in 2020, I was on a couple of dating apps. I was on Bumble, which is how I ended up meeting my wife. But at the time, I think we were only 2 weeks into knowing each other. I still had BLK, which is a black dating app, up on my phone as well. And early 2020, I had to do a layover flight to Chicago, and I had to fly to Atlanta, sat in the airport for 2 hours, and then ended up in Chicago and got off the plane. And so this was only about 2.5 hours of downtime. And when I got in the car, I turned my phone on and I actually checked the app. And the app I forgot was on and it was going by my geolocation. And when I opened up my phone and opened up that app, after 2 hours in Atlanta and about 20 to 30 minutes in Chicago, I had about 72 to 74 women that had initiated and matched up with me from those two cities within
Wow.
2.5 hours, almost 75 women. And that is a reflection of two things. One, the market is skewed for men that are that meet and check off certain requirements. If a lot of women think that you're fairly educated, if you carry yourself a certain way, if you know how to dress your profile up a certain way, and if they can glean what you say you do for a living and potentially how much you make, if you land in a city, God forbid if you stay in the city, you have a massive advantage over 80+% of the men that's already there. So just landing in the airports, not even walking around, I had almost 80 women within a 2.5 hour time span. Now, mind you, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a model. I'm not rich or even super rich. And if those are my numbers, can you imagine the guys that actually live there? The guys who are wealthy, the guys who are athletes? It's probably in the thousands. And the reason why that story is so interesting is because as women become more selective and believe that their optionality is unlimited of all the options and choices I have, they don't really realize that when you're not your best version of yourself, the guy who gets that type of attention doesn't have to tolerate it, doesn't have to commit, and will very quickly replace you with no hesitation or trouble. And they don't realize that often until it's too late, when they're at a space and point where they're going to have much more difficulty having children, not having access to the same men that they may have had before. And worse, they may be in a position where for the first time they have to reevaluate, if I am going to get married, if I am going to settle down, it has to be with a man that wasn't my first, second, or third choice.
And how did your matches compare? Because I think Tinder's been in the market for 10 years now. So
Mhm.
how did your matches compare from like today or then when you said you were 30 to like when you
Yeah.
were 20? Or would that have been before? Were you on the apps before that? Go ahead.
No. I had come out of a previous relationship before that.
Okay.
So I had gotten married around 25, gotten divorced around 29, and 30. I'm back out there in the streets, and I hadn't been on dating apps before that. So this was my first time really trying dating apps, and I'm 30 by this point, and I was like, whoa. I didn't realize it was this easy. It was a lot. But what I didn't realize is that my experience wasn't every man's experience. I learned that over time with observation that some guys got way crazier numbers than me. And women, by doing this, where men didn't have to pay a dowry, they don't have to meet your family, they don't have to go to your church or your religious synagogue of some kind. They have to do almost the bare minimum of nothing other than being funny, sounding cool, and looking good to get access to your body and potentially get you to give
Mhm.
them a kid. They created a market, probably unknowingly, where men that can do that are now men that look like me are now having body counts, and men that look way better than me are now having body counts that's rivaling kings during medieval time.
Yeah.
And you're expecting those men, all of those men that you want to be not only with you, but only you for the rest of your life and theirs. Interesting.